When the evil lord of the realm of darkness threatens to unleash hell on Earth, there's only one ninja you need to call: Ryu Hayabusa. Everybody's favorite 8-bit ninja is back for another NES adventure, and this one promises to be even bigger and more explosive than the last. Now is the time to turn away if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to be slashing up the ending of Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos. This is 23 Endings, the early years. When we last checked in with Ryu, he had just found out that his long-dead father wasn't dead after all. He then rescued the girl, he defeated the evil Jackio, and he kept the world from ending. For a first mission, this kind of success is unheard of. It's like getting 18 holes in one the first time you go golfing. If I were Ryu, I'd probably just hang up the shurikens and relax for the next 60 years. There's no way the next mission is going to be anywhere near as successful as the first. But this is a video game franchise, so of course Ryu Hayabusa can't just give up the ninja lifestyle. This is made even more complicated by the introduction of Ashtar, who turns out to be the guy that was controlling Jackio back in Ninja Gaiden 1. He's the evil lord of the realm of darkness, and he's none too thrilled that some puny kid from Japan was able to fly across the country and defeat the Jackio without any help. So what does he do? Well, he kidnaps the girl, because that's what you do in an 8-bit action game. Now, if you're wondering how Ryu comes across this information, then let me introduce you to Robert S. Sturgeon. This is a US Army Special Intelligence Unit member who's been sent out to locate Ryu and convince the ninja to Gaiden again. He reveals that Irene is being kept in the Tower of Lajja, and then pulls a gun on the young Hayabusa. But don't worry, Ryu stays bullet-free in Ninja Gaiden 2, though I can't say the same about the swamp monster lurking behind him. So now that he has his marching orders, Ryu boards a train and makes his way to the Tower of Lajja. Did I say board? I meant that he spends the entire time fighting on top of the train. This turns into an epic climb up a mountain, which ends with an ambush by a tribesman of the world of chaos. Ryu's a little confused, but he knows that he doesn't have much time to save Irene and defeat Ashtar, so he continues his journey to the Tower of Lajja. Once there, he defeats whatever this is and comes face to face with this Emperor of Darkness he's been hearing so much about. Ashtar strikes with a blast of his sword, subduing our hero and bringing Irene to her knees. And I'm not gonna lie, this looks bad. But don't worry, we're barely a quarter of the way through this game, so Robert steps in once again to save the day. Ashtar escapes, but hey, at least Ryu is alive to fight another day. Apparently Ryu needs to defeat Ashtar before his magical sword reaches full strength. This means chasing through a bunch of levels in a left-to-right game of cat and mouse. It's in this chilly location that Ryu finally catches up with Ashtar, who now seems to be ready to let Irene go. But watch out, Hayabusa, because it's a trick. Out of nowhere, the Emperor of Darkness stabs Irene in the back, sending her into Ryu's arms. But don't worry, Robert is here to— oh no! With all our friends out of the picture, it's up to Ryu to once again save the day. So, in case you're wondering, Irene is fine. She's talking slowly and losing a lot of blood, but she says she's fine and orders Ryu to push on and destroy the altar that Ashtar used to connect the two worlds. Robert is going to help her get back to civilization and find some much-needed medical attention. Unfortunately, they run into a familiar face when backtracking through the caves. As it turns out, this is not the only familiar face the team will run into. On his way to the altar, Ryu ends up fighting these demon dogs from the first game. Even our unflappable hero seems to be noticeably shaken up by the sense of deja vu. And that bad feeling in Ryu's stomach only gets worse when Robert shows up with some devastating news. Irene has been captured. Again. So there's no time to waste. Robert is going to fend off the army of darkness while Ryu races ahead to destroy the gate. He finds Irene, but clearly something's wrong. And that's when Hayabusa finds his old nemesis, the Jackio. He's been reborn and now has the dark power of evil. The Sword of Chaos is going to throw open the Gate of Darkness, which will turn our world into a literal hell on Earth. But don't worry, everything is going to be fine just as long as that stupid Sword of Chaos doesn't come in contact with Jackio's blood. This is an old NES game. What are the chances of that happening? Oh no! The sword is awake! I repeat, this is not a drill. The sword is awake! So this opens up the Gate of Darkness, which sets up one final epic confrontation for Ryu Hayabusa. He summons the full power of the Dragon Clan to fight evil in all forms, eventually defeating the massive demon monster with floating hands. This is the ending we get for our troubles. Now, I know what you're thinking. These guys need to cool it with all this talk about vanquishing evil forever, because we already know there's a Ninja Gaiden 3. But here's a plot twist. This is actually the end of Ryu Hayabusa's 8-bit story. The Ancient Ship of Doom actually takes place between these two games, and Ninja Gaiden Shadow is a prequel that completely ruins the continuity. So what you're looking at right now is the final known battle of Ken Hayabusa's son. It's almost emotional. I guess my problem with this ending is that it feels like it's repeating most of the same beats of the first game. We once again save the girl and watch a building crumble in the distance. This game tries to make you think that Ryu didn't actually save Irene after all, but she springs back to life after the sword turns into a magical ball with resurrection powers. Yeah, I know this was set up earlier in the game, but it's still dumb. Worst of all, these two don't even spend a moment remembering Robert T. Sturgeon, who was apparently trapped in the destroyed temple. Don't worry, Sturge, I'll always remember your heroism. Rest in peace, buddy. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of 23 Endings, the early years. So here's the question of the day. What's the best Ninja Gaiden game? That 2004 reboot is so damn good, but, my gut tells me the right answer is the first Ninja Gaiden on the NES. I know there are a lot of people who love that arcade game, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. In other news, this week may be over, but next week's gonna be even crazier. Not only do we have a slew of reviews ready to go, but we'll be spoiling the ending of a bunch of Bionic Commando games and the Splatterhouse trilogy. I can't wait until you see those, so do me a favor and click that subscribe button. Until then.